Good day, I'm Tamara McHale and this is your JIS news for Monday, April 13. The Jamaica Fire Brigade is reporting that there was no fire at the Riverton City Disposal Site in St. Andrew earlier today. In an interview with the JIS News this morning, Public Relations Officer at the JFB, Emilio Ebanks, said the fire was confined to a lot at Westbrook Avenue in Riverton City, which is adjacent to the disposal site. He said firefighters responded quickly and brought the blaze under control. The cause of the fire has not yet been determined. The Jamaican government has called on United Nations member countries to sign off on legally binding commitments to address the issue of climate change. The urging came from Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller as she addressed the 7th Summit of the Americas in Panama on Saturday, April 11. She pushed for legally binding commitments coming out of the 21st session of the Conference of the Parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, which will be held in Paris, France this December.
This is a matter of survival for small island developing states. Climate change poses a clear and present danger to our continued development, while the high cost of energy for some countries limits our ability to be globally competitive.
Prime Minister Simpson Miller also called on her fellow leaders of the Americas to redouble international cooperation to attain shared prosperity within the region. She indicated that Jamaica also remains concerned over the designation of and provisions for middle-income countries which don't take into account the distinct challenges of each country.
Per capita income alone does not point an accurate picture of a country's vulnerabilities and development challenges.
Legislation to establish and streamline the Revenue Appeals Division is expected to be passed in Parliament during this fiscal year. The legislation, called the Revenue Appeals Division Act 2014, is in keeping with government's plans to reform the tax system.
So that appeals can be heard more expeditiously and that the taxpayer can be facilitated in having a speedier resolution of disputes that arise. It will not only facilitate the speedy hearing of appeals, but it will not detract from the right of the taxpayer to finally go to the revenue courts in the event that they so choose.
The Finance Minister adds that government will also be pushing to complete amendments to the Income Tax Act,
which will facilitate a new regime for transfer pricing arrangements and for the protection of the revenues, any revenues on account of any leakage through improper transfer pricing arrangements.
Dr. Phillips was speaking at a graduation ceremony to recognize 28 individuals who completed the Tax Audit and Revenue Administration Postgraduate Diploma Program at the Management Institute for National Development. Under the program, individuals were taught how to effectively deal with complex tax undertakings, which would improve the efficiency of tax offices across the island. A policy framework and procedures manual for the divestment of government-owned lands was recently launched by Land Minister Robert Pickersgill. The policy manual standardizes and codifies best practices which have been developed over the years. It's expected to yield optimum benefits for the nation.
I'm satisfied that the procedures therein will foster improved transparency in the process and will promote equity and fairness in the divestment of government-owned lands. Some of the objectives the manual will facilitate include increased security of tenure by broadening the access to land through ownership or lease, so that individuals may be provided with the opportunity for sustainable livelihood and wealth creation.
The manual has been developed with widespread consultations from agencies such as the Office of the Contractor General, the Ministry of Finance, Development Bank of Jamaica, National Land Agency, and others. And finally, residents in sections of St. Mary and St. Anne will have better access to potable water following the rehabilitation of the Bogue water treatment plant in St. Anne. The plant, which was recently commissioned into service by Portfolio Minister Robert Pickersgill, has the capacity to provide 6 million gallons of water per day. Work was completed under the Jamaica Water Supply Improvement Project at a cost of $467 million. Minister Pickersgill outlined some long-term benefits of the project.
The attraction of new businesses and the expansion of existing ones, resulting in increased employment for persons in these communities, a reduction in the migration of persons from rural to urban areas, and a reduction in the health risks associated with the consumption of inadequately treated water.
And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Tamara McHale. Thank you for watching.